Welcome back to Sports Extra. Now things in detail. First of all, we'll start with the biggest Grand Slam of the year, of course. All eyes on the Wimbledon tennis tournament. A lot to discuss. And to discuss this further, we've been joined in studios by internationally acclaimed and certified tennis coach and somebody who has the real insight into the game. Just over the break, we of course discussed a couple of things as well, but he's going to bring out all the technicalities for you to understand. Mr. Mehboob Khan is joining us. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullah.
Sir, thank you very much for being on the show. Now, I think the first thing has to be about Serena Williams because it's all in the headlines and everybody wants to know about this.
Of course, Serena Williams, as you know, she has won many Grand Slam. I think 22 Grand Slam she has won. And in the women's side, I would say Steffi Graf and Serena Williams are the most, Grand Slam winners. So everybody was having a great expectation from Serena Williams, but not realizing that time is against everybody. And the match started very well. I mean, the other girl, Harmony Tan, was very clever. She was trying to mix it up, some drop shots and lobs and many slices. And Tan won the first set 7-5. But second set, Serena won 6-1. So we thought, and they took 3-1 lead in the third. So we thought that Serena Williams might be able to use her experience. But as you know, Jimmy Connors has said about experience that experience is a good thing, but by the time you get it, you are too damn old to use it. So her movement started a little bit lethargic, and the set went 6-all, the third one. And even the super tiebreak, the match tiebreak, Serena took 6-4 lead. She was supposed to win 10 points, very close. But at that time, she tried slice drop shot, and she missed that. And then one can easily see that she was actually just out of it, and she lost third set super tiebreak.
So people need to understand now, because tennis is evolving, things are changing. The new generation of tennis players are very fit, very lean. Making a comeback, and that too not playing competitive tennis for 1 year, is very, very difficult.
Yeah, I was surprised that she wants to play singles. Maybe she would have played doubles, and she did very well with Ons Jabeur playing doubles, and a tournament prior to that, I think with Eastbourne. And they did very well. So I think she should stick to doubles, quite frankly.
Just to ease things a bit, obviously. But obviously it's not easy. But going into the future, sir, people want to know, because Serena herself said that about Wimbledon she's not sure, but she still wants to win more Grand Slams.
Well, it all depends if she can focus on her fitness a little bit, because I thought she was a little bit heavy for this time around. So, I mean, she is very persistent and mentally very tough player. So it's possible, but it will be an uphill task, because the new gen players, the girls are very technically very sound. They have all the shots. As you must have seen, the Ons Jabeur has one of the best drop shots. So they have all-round game, and they have now the ability to take on any player, whether it's Serena Williams or Venus Williams. So the game has changed.
The game has certainly changed, and obviously it's not easy making a comeback herself as well. Of course, for a player, it's very difficult to say goodbye to a thing that you love the most. But then again, you need to know that it's your time, or if you're playing selective tennis. Moving on to the men's side, there have been certain things to discuss as well. Sir, starting off with Raphael Nadal, injury is definitely a concern, but so far he's made it to the next round.
Exactly. In the men's side, as you know, Novak Djokovic is the top seed,
yes,
and Raphael Nadal is the second seed, which means that if they both wins all the matches in their half of the round draw, they can meet in the final. But there was, as you mentioned, Berrettini, that he pulled out because of COVID-19. But remember, Berrettini had some practice session with Raphael Nadal just before that. So there was a concern whether Nadal should be tested or retested, and they told him that if you are feeling good, no need to test. So Nadal also said that I'm fine, I don't feel any symptoms, and I will play. So yes, the draw is very enticing, mouth-watering, and everybody expects that Raphael Nadal and Djokovic should meet in the final. So that because they both have, as you know, rivalry going on, and people would love to see that.
So technically, age is not on his side. Injury scare as well, carrying that foot injury. How long do you think Nadal can go? Because that's been a question ever since that injury now.
Yeah, exactly. Every time people ask him, and he said that yes, that he's carrying this injury. But this question was put to Djokovic, and Djokovic said that he's carrying this injury for so long, and he's just fine. I mean, he was just trying to downplaying it, that he's just fine and nothing, because he says these things that I'm injured, but he's just fine. So, but actually there is an injury, and again it's all determination, just like Serena Williams, and the grass is a different ball game. It's not like French Open. And on grass, the serve and volley, the slice backhand, all these kind of things. So there are players who can give tough time to Nadal, and I would say that grass is more suitable to Djokovic. I have a feeling, although Raphael Nadal has also won this event, I think at least 2 times. But on grass, Djokovic, I would say in my view, is more favorite.
More favorite for the
because of his style of play.
Stefanos Tsitsipas had a long run, but obviously he's made it to the next round as well. He was able to beat the Swiss Richard in his first round encounter as well.
Yeah, he has the game. Tsitsipas, you know, he has a good serve, good forehand, and the single-handed backhand is very beautiful. But I think he has to add some variety, maybe some drop shots, some slices here and there. Otherwise, he's a player to watch.
Other notable performances have been there if we look at some of the players. But like Sir also mentioned, that Novak Djokovic has, of course, made it to the next round. He's now probably the favorite. Nadal carrying an injury concern also there, but a lot of other players to look out for as well. Roberto Bautista Agut has also qualified. Straight set victory for him in his first round.
Roberto Agut, you know, he's a clay court player, and even he's a like gutsy player. You know, he just like to hit from the baseline, forehand, backhand. He's like a road runner. But I do not think that his game is suitable to grass. And he might win a couple of rounds, a round here and there. But I really do not see that Agut, you know, progressing even to the quarterfinals.
So Carlos Alcaraz has been talked about a lot. He's made it to the next round now. He's being tipped as the next generation of top tennis players that we can see.
Although he had a tough time against the German player in the first round, and he was lucky to win in the 5th set, I think 6-4. Again, he is inexperienced. Alcaraz is inexperienced on grass, and there are players who can beat him. I remember after his win in Madrid, where Zverev couldn't play, and I said that best of 3 set as compared to best of 5 set, and there are 2 on grass, that's a different ball game. It's just like you are a ODI player, cricket,
and then you come to
or a T20
format.
player, or a Test cricket player.
Yes.
So you see that now we have Test cricket players. They are different. They play Test, and the ODI players are different. And the T20, that's like you have to just hit every ball. So that's the difference between best of 3 sets and best of 5 sets. But I personally, I do not think that Alcaraz's game is suitable to grass, because for main reason that he doesn't have much grass court experience.
Absolutely. One more surprising thing about Wimbledon has been Andy Murray now. After a hip replacement surgery, still being able to play competitive tennis surely needs a lot of heart and a lot of resilience as well. He's qualified from the first round, but next round, Andy Murray is up against John Isner of the USA.
Yeah, John Isner, he's I would say, the tallest player in the draw.
Yes, sir.
And he has, I would say, right now, he has the best serve in this tournament. He has the best serve. And on grass, the serve plays a major role. So Andy Murray has a tough task ahead of him because John Isner has the game to beat him. And Andy Murray, if we look at head-to-head, I think Andy Murray is leading head-to-head, I think 8-0. John Isner has never beaten him. But I think this time around, if John Isner could put his serve and volley game to the test, he has the game. I mean, this guy has a great wingspan. He has a great volleys. I mean, he's not very good from the baseline, John, isn't it? Forehand, backhand, but his 7 volley game is good, and that's very effective on grass. So it will be very interesting match to watch.
Interesting indeed as well. A bit about the women's side, of course, Serena is out there, but still many names to discuss. Iga Swiatek is still there in contention. We've got Simona Halep as well, Angelique Kerber, everybody who you think can probably take this tournament. You still have some of those names. So who on the women's side, sir, looks more competitive right now to take the tournament?
In the women's side, as you know, the Iga Swiatek is the top seed, and Kontaveit is the second, and Ons Jabeur is the third seed. Now, again, looking at the grass, Iga Swiatek does not have much experience playing on grass. On the other hand, Ons Jabeur has good experience playing on grass, and in fact, last year, if you recall, in Wimbledon last year, Ons Jabeur has beaten Iga Swiatek. Sure. And this time, Ons Jabeur is the third seed. So I really do not know whether she is in the half of Iga Swiatek or in the other half, but Ons Jabeur, I would say, is a favorite to do well in this Wimbledon.
Technically, what has impressed you most about Ons Jabeur, sir?
Because she has reasonably good serve, forehand is very good, and backhand is has lots of variety. She has a double-handed backhand, but she can hit single-handed slice as well, and drop shot. And these 2 shots, the slice backhand and the drop shot, these shots are very, very effective against these girls.
Definitely,
yeah.
Definitely. That is the case, and a lot of competition still in there as well. And I understand that we still have some of our favorites. Some people would have not enjoyed the fact that Serena is still out, but the women's side is as competitive as it can get, and so is the men's side as well. But obviously, time will tell who progresses to the rounds forward and takes it by storm. But sir, before we go towards the break and end the segment, one very important thing for the youngsters that are watching. Playing on grass, what is the biggest skill level that you need to keep in mind, playing on grass courts especially?
Well, I think I would say my mind goes to Pakistan also, that we should have lots of grass court facilities, and the best thing you can do is how to play and how to win on grass court, and that is to play on grass court, because the surface itself teaches you. For example, if you are playing on clay court, the clay court teaches you rally karo, just rally from the baseline, and when the ball is really easy, then hit a winner or come to the net. So that's what clay teaches you, the red clay. And the grass teaches you that you must come in whenever you have the opportunity, probably on serve and volley, or whenever you get a short ball, you must have a nice, decent approach shot, slice approach shot down the line and come to the net. So basically, the grass teaches you to basically end the point quickly. And the best way to do well on grass is to play on grass. And in Pakistan, I have been telling the authorities that we should, for example, here in Islamabad, we do not have any grass court facility. So I was in fact talking to other day Sardar Ahmed Nawaz Sukhera, who's the administrator of Islamabad club, to put up some grass court facility courts over there. They have very good cricket ground.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Club. And they do have a space. So I think the grass courts are important. We ought to have, because in the Davis Cup, Pakistan does very well playing on grass. Why? Because other nations don't have much experience playing on grass. So as a nation, we have to think that we need to put up grass court facility. In terms of international competition, the same is true, because if you look at the junior circuit, men's circuit and women's circuit, boys and girls, nowadays we don't have many grass court tournaments.
Sure.
We only have Wimbledon and some tournaments before that.
Some side tournaments.
So the test is, the challenge is whether you want more synthetic courts, because synthetic court, you just wash them.
Easy to maintain.
Easy to maintain. Yes. Grass court is very difficult. It's just a maintenance nightmare, because you play, the grass court, goes out, and then you have to plant again, and then you have to water it. So it's very say a maintenance,
Nightmare.
Nightmare. So,
Yes,
but again, in Pakistan, we ought to have grass courts as well.
definitely, that is the case. Sir, thank you very much for joining us on Sports.
It's always a pleasure.
Always great
talking
having
to you.
Always great learning from your experience as well, sir. Well, you heard it from Sir Mehboob as well. More grass courts, and for all you youngsters who want to become better at grass courts, then play at grass courts. The more you play, the more experience, because I think the catch line is that the court itself is going to teach you a lot. On that note, we'll go towards a short break. When we come back, we'll have football. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break. Time now to discuss things in detail and move on to football. Now, the latest of transfer news in the English Premier League is creating a lot of hype. What's happening and what's going to be things moving forward? Let's take a look at this report.
Have stepped up their negotiations in recent days and are close to reaching an agreement for the transfer of Frenkie de Jong. The latest offer made by the English club was 65 million euros plus additional variables. Barcelona, for their part, want to receive the money they paid Ajax for the transfer, which amounts to 75 million euros plus 11 million in variables. On the other hand, Gabriel Jesus has completed his move from Manchester City to Arsenal. The striker has agreed to personal terms with his new club after City and Arsenal had already agreed on a £45 million transfer fee, whereas Chelsea are close to clinching a £55 million deal with Leeds to buy Raphinha after moving in front of Arsenal and Barcelona in the race to sign the Brazil international. Chelsea have opened talks over City's Raheem Sterling and also want Raphinha as they rebuild their attack. Arsenal have also made attempts to sign Raphinha, however, they face the prospect of losing out to Chelsea, who are due to open discussions for personal terms with the 25-year-old.
Well, there you have it. All you need to know about the transfer details and what is happening in the Premier League. To discuss this further, we've been joined on Sports Extra by sports expert Ali Mehdi. Assalamu alaikum, Ali. How are you? Ali, can you hear me? We're having some difficulties. We'll try to get Ali back on the line as well. Now, many things need to be discussed in detail. Of course, Manchester United have been under immense criticism for not showing intent even to sign players and make a difference. Obviously, they've let go of some of their players in their squad as well. And going into the Premier League, things look pretty bleak, and there's been a lot of criticism on their owners, the Glazers family as well. They're still close to signing Frenkie de Jong, but the thing is that how much is it going to be effective for the club? One really needs to put their mind into it as well. Where other clubs such as Chelsea, Manchester City, even Arsenal to an extent are moving towards players that they believe signed. There are also rumours that Cristiano Ronaldo might even leave Manchester United, and that probably would be curtains for the team itself when you talk about the fan following that they enjoy. Things are looking pretty bleak themselves, and like we just told you in detail as well, that there are certain transfers that are making headlines. Gabriel Jesus is now moving to Arsenal. His move has been confirmed. Chelsea are a step closer to Raphael Nadal, and of course the Blues, Manchester City, are looking to sign Raheem Sterling as well. Now moving on, we've been joined by Ali Mehdi. Assalamu alaikum, Ali. How are you?
Walaikum salam, Ahmed. I'm very well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Great to have you on the show. Now, transfer news is making headlines all around. First of all, which do you think is probably one of the most important transfers of this season?
I think, first of all, the most important one is for the bewildered Manchester United. Like, look, many teams, I think we've already spoken about Eric Haaland, in a lot of detail over the past few months. He signed for Manchester City. That made shockwaves into the market. But I think the next big one has to be two ones. Firstly, Arsenal buying the Gabriel Jesus, which you just mentioned in your introduction, getting a very good price, about 42 million. I think that's a very fantastic deal. They've been up front ever since they lost Aubameyang. So he's a very good sign of business. He's very good in front of goal, taps in the ball, gets into those good positions. So he'll really, what he'll do is that he'll actually add to their arsenal too. So he's a brilliant buy for them. But then the big one, I think, which has been making news, not really shockwaves, is the one of Frenkie de Jong right now. Because Frenkie de Jong, Manchester United have been in the transfer market for all the wrong reasons, not getting the right person. But getting Frenkie de Jong is what actually signifies Eric Ten Hag's mentality, his philosophy too. So getting him from Barcelona is a big one too. And as long as everything is finalized and put to paper, I think he'll be a huge asset for Manchester United, whose midfield has been riddled with a lot of problems in midfield, especially after the departure of Paul Pogba.
Right. Ali, particularly about Manchester United, the intent is not there from the Glazers family to actually invest into the club. At this time, signing Frankie de Jong and with rumours circling that Ronaldo might move on to Chelsea, what is the eventual outcome?
I actually feel, first of all, that this news of Cristiano Ronaldo going to Chelsea, I think that's a bit. I think that's actually. I don't think it's true. It's actually false news. There's still not concrete evidence regarding it. I still think that we have to wait and see what happens. So it's too early to say that. There's a new administration in Chelsea. I think Cristiano Ronaldo is going to stay in Manchester United for personal reasons, and because he's got another year in his contract too. He's decided another baby, so he's probably going to stay. On the other hand, if you're talking about Frankie de Jong, it's actually because of Aaron, the new manager who's come in. He actually wants a fresh new setup. He wants his own philosophy. He wants his own style of players who were so successful in Ajax. He's got Van der Beek back from Everton, who's very accustomed to his very...
but Ali Mehdi, the problem with Van der Beek in the previous seasons has been about the game time. So with Erik ten Hag coming, do you think that there will be more game time and more games where Cristiano Ronaldo gets to start out at front?
I think he will start in front because, look, there is no other way you can play Cristiano Ronaldo. You can't play him on the wings. Those days have gone. He's a out-and-out striker. Other than that, you don't have a striker right now. Cavani is gone. Rashford hasn't been in the same form which he's replicated. Mason Greenwood is out in the cold too. So Ronaldo is the only focal point there. Other than that, you've got that midfield too. You have a lot of players who've left, like Lingard has gone, Paul Pogba has gone, Mata has gone, Matic has gone. So Aaron ten Hag has to strengthen that midfield, and I think it starts off by buying these new acquisitions, and I think Frankie de Jong will be very good because he knows these players, he knows how to get the best out of them, and they are comfortable with him. So I think this is a fresh dawn for Manchester United, and you have to trust this manager, give him time to, and let the Glazers stay out of it, because this man knows he's been successful in the Dutch League too, and I think he will try to bring that philosophy. It won't happen overnight. Over a period of time, it will hopefully transpire into Manchester United.
Well, Raheem Sterling leaving City, how big of a move is that?
I think that's a big move too. I think too that the last few years, he's been a consistent performer. He's done very well for them. He's gotten those goals too. But he's been out in the cold, if you think about it. Not a real big game player. He's done very well in the small games too, in the league too. But when it comes to those big moments, those big Champions Leagues, those finals, you could say FA Cup finals, he hasn't really performed. So it's a good move for him. It's a good move for Manchester City. They've obviously got Haaland, right, which is massive for them. But I think Raheem Sterling news fresh new pastures, and I think it'll be great for him, and he's going to be successful where he goes. He's done well in Liverpool. I think he'll do. It's good business for both Manchester City and for Raheem Sterling.
Well, what about Arsenal? They've shown intent to actually better things this season.
Well, Arsenal actually is finished, as we know, they finished 5th last season. They were going for those Champions League spots, but then, they flopped right at the end. I think they've got some intent to getting Gabriel Jesus, who's a, out-and-out striker who's excellent in front of the box. That shows some real intent. But, they actually need to get some more quality in the ranks of the midfield, the defense which leaks plenty of goals. They've got a fabulous keeper, who came last year too, but it's that defense and midfield which needs to be strengthened too. If they can do that, I think they can challenge for top four, for championship. Not possible. I still think that, like Manchester United, they're light years to actually challenging for, the title, in which Liverpool and Manchester City are, way ahead of everybody in the league.
Well, Chelsea is closer to signing Raphael themselves as well. Do you think it makes a difference to their squad now with the approach? They've had a good season, but probably want more from the season now. Thank you very much, Ali Mehdi, for joining us on Sports Extra with the latest of transfer news circling around as well. And of course, squads are looking to be inducted and of course reinforced as well. But one thing is for sure that Erik ten Hag wants to do things differently when it comes to the fact that we want to see more from Manchester United, but it's all about the spending kitty that he's been given as well. The fact is that Frankie de Jong only, is that your plan forward? Things and time will tell how Manchester United are able to better things this season, because a lot of criticism is coming. Now, sharing something very important with you, tourism in Pakistan. Pakistan is expected to host 1,400 international climbers. 40 Pakistani climbers are also in the race. Only 550 climbers had toured Pakistan last year. A lot about this now. When it comes to tourism and it comes to climbing, Pakistan becomes a fantastic destination. Talk about the majestic peaks up north of Pakistan. It attracts a lot of international mountaineers. Often on Sports Extra, we have had these international mountaineers coming on the show and talking about their experiences and their expeditions as well. And at the same time, of course, K2, Nanga Parbat, all of these mountains do become a popular destination. But the fact is that what they've talked about is better infrastructure, better facilities, and they've also talked about the challenging terrains of Pakistan's mountains up north as well. And the more climbers that are coming, the more tourism and the more promotion of the local village and, of course, the local infrastructure and the local economy is getting a boost at this moment as well. Now, before we go, we'll leave you with a report on this from me and the entire team. It'll be goodbye for now, but let's take a look at this report regarding this tourism in Pakistan and the fact that international climbers make for most of it.
Achieving new feats in the sector of tourism, Pakistan is expecting to host as many as 1,400 international climbers to summit the world's highest peaks this year. This is the highest number after 9/11 attacks. This marks a stark contrast to the last year, as only 550 climbers from across the globe arrived in the country for adventure tourism. According to the Alpine Club of Pakistan Secretary, the introduction of online visas and the prevailing peaceful environment in Pakistan has helped attract such a huge influx of international tourists this year. As per the details, 700 permits have already been issued to the foreign climbers by the Gilgit-Baltistan Tourism Department, as mentioned by its officials. The climbers are expected to be coming from Europe, the United States, the United Arab Emirates, China, Russia, Poland, Japan and Norway. Besides foreigners, 40 Pakistani climbers are also in the race. Pakistan boasts 5 of the world's 14 8,000, including the world's second highest peak K2, followed by Nanga Parbat, Gesher Brahm 1, Broad Peak and Gesher Brahm 2. Gilgit-Baltistan Tourism Minister Raja Nasir Ali Khan mentioned that the tourism department is ready to facilitate climbers and cope with the emergencies.